I am Martin Ifanish. Say my name to define mass media and
Yeah, that's right. It's about time. Olugo mweji make sense. You have to go time ahead make sense. It's about time, really. Yeah, it's about time for ombudsmanship. Time for for us to cause social change. Here at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. It's another kind of Whatever session. You know what I go on a fair man. Let me start by telling you that the development of any nation depends on the education of such a nation. Now, good evening and welcome to another wonderful spirit and knowledge-filled edition of Street Reports on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifeanyi Shuku, AKZ, as I number the first, the one that I call the metal. And it's about to go down. For a long time, I don't know, education is the key. Education is the key. You have to go the key to what? Now, with the recent happenings of like the things that is happening in the education sector of Nigeria so far, do you think that statement is still right? Yes, the key to industrialization is education. I'll give it to America when they developed that system of education whereby you teach more of the practicals than the theory. It drove them to a point. It reflects in most of the things they do. So you get to understand that this thing, is education is very important to the development of any nation. This is just a typical example of what I'm talking about today. I told you it reflects in everything they do, even their media, economy, even politics, defense, even politics now, for example, politics, for example, a lot of American media outlets will always be tough on the former president of America, Donald Trump. Most will say a whole lot of things about him. Some will even cajole him, make him look as if he doesn't know anything. But you will see the brilliancy in what they do. For example, when he demanded for a special master, so many people don't know what it means, what special master was supposed to mean at the time. But that shows you how, how up there, like how intelligent these people are, irrespective of like maybe the insults they get from day-to-day activities, though. So my point is that the practical way, that way they teach to make sure that practicals is more than the theory, because the normal university setting is basically theory and then maybe a little bit of practicals. But this one majorly practicals before theory. You want to go? That is any ekwu a na-eme eme a na-asị gị n'otu a ka ọ dị na eke esi eme ya egosi gị ya immediately, not just Selegian about the Delegia and the rest of them. That's the kind I'm talking about this evening. So if you look around, you see that the entire world is under their influence. You know, am I lying? But the entire world is on their own if they don't find their own path. Because the word migrant is basically another word you could use, you know, to describe the old way slave something went about, like the way it happened those days. Because this day we still see slave cells in Libya. So in Nigeria, the education sector is like there is crisis. You have to go. There is crisis over there. It is happening. We can all see for ourselves. The federal government and ASUU have been in loggerheads since February of this year. Yet we can't see the end of that fight. Yet we can't see it. But this fight, because of every day we wake up to the development that leads to backwardness, you know, those developments will say, oh, this one happened. But when you analyze everything that happened, you see that we are going back. There is no, we have not seen like hope of maybe them, like the ASU people getting back to school, you know, the lecturers getting back to school and the rest of them. But it is happening. Now, the bone of contention today is that federal government registered Congress of Nigerian University Academics and the National Association of Medical and Dentals Associates. You know, the Minister of Labor, Dr. Chris Ngige, disclosed that these two groups, you know, will exist alongside ASUU. What is the essence of groups like this? You know, the trade union groups, pressure groups. What is the essence of these groups? What are they supposed, like, what purpose are they supposed to be serving? Now, ASUU has been on strike. ASUU had been on strike since February 14, 2022. You know, as lecturers of public universities protest unpaid allowances and demand better welfare packages from the federal government. This is not news. As a matter of fact, it is still news. But every day we still, you know, we see a lot of developments in this particular issue. It keeps occurring. You know, na Nigeria, some the malo na ASUU na about strike. You need the part of Nigeria, you know, some the malo na ASUU na about strike all this while. So that's why I said it is not news. Let's remember one thing. You have to go. That one thing is the fact that the new group registered by federal government were not forced to do so. But they wanted to register as well, and their own approach is different from what what ASUU is doing. They believe that the issue of striking all the time, that ASUU have overused it. That we need to also use other things like diplomacy and find other means in order to get what they are looking for. Mano Fife Kahancha na now, Yota, lecturers, all of them are all lecturers. Wanna now, this umbrella depa, because on Gasude, Yota hair. Now, Ana Kwazin to all the Keta. Na Hachozi Jimwayo, we solo kunina, Kawena she back to that school. Of late, I know Kahaku Asina. Na found one on 1 was in a strike that they are back to school and they are inviting students back to school. You have to go. Meanwhile, ASUU na federal government na eje court already on that bottle. But there is one thing, you know, the former INEC chairman, Professor Jega, said that the Minister of Labor, Dr. Chris Ngige, is taking the issue personal. And this issue of registration of other groups or unions, such as CONUA, is going to escalate the issue of ASUU strike. This and more is the cause of our discussion on this particular edition of Street Report on Ebonade 103.5 FM. I am Martin Efa Nshuku, AKZ As a number the force, the one, the McCall, metal. You got to go. I just want you to stick around with this one. It is coming from Terry G. Let's enjoy this one. When we get back, we'll continue on this particular issue. It is something that we'll have to address. You, more, it is affecting us as a people. We need to talk about it on how to move forward from they have come to cause social change on those things that looks impossible, sir, for social change to come true. But social change will come true. It is three reports on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Stick around with this one. Two.
Forward ever, backward never. See, skip me my honor. My guy, you don't get to honor. As a baby phone, I swear not to answer. Hey, I know. Konilo lemon. Kapori bande. It Maria Keva. Nobody answer. Nobody bother. What God has on my way. Everybody say, Mama mi morire, eni ma shere ma rire ba o, beru na dupe ariri ba o, cause I wake up and bless, mo dupe f'Oluwa no stress yo, and I big up my chest, as I make the money I invest the money oh, Baba bless my hustle, ah no, Oluwa emi no fe fogun. Cause I know they still they find me money. Me, I want to make this money. Kill a man for my money. In case you don't know. I tell them, oh, no, he make you. Hey, no, he make you. No. Because I know he make you. Only one bless me. Oh, no. Yeah, to define mass media and it is defined. I am Martin, journalist to the core, a broadcaster if you will. I am Martin, the film director. I am Martin, producer. CKC call me metal or mobile thinking. Osma call me metal. For no me as the lyrical killer who could call CONUA. Whenever I look at the sky from here, I think the most high was cool.
Yeah, that's right. You're still tuned to Ebon at the 103.5 FM on a fire bottle. It is straight report. Yeah. Yes, it's about time when we make sense of it all. Reason ofuma. I reason ofuma. Yes, it is time to reason, time for us to know exactly those, but that issue, the talabo, that's the issue. Now, issue really. Let's see, what is this about? Now, pressure groups like promotes opportunities for political participation for citizens without the need to join a political party. That's what pressure group does for us. Like pressure group, trade union, those group are like group we belong to that fights for our rights, that help us to participate in politics peacefully without, being a member of a political party, but you are contributing as a citizen of Nigeria. They also allow for the democratic rights of the freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and the association to be upheld or to be upheld, Yeah, that's right. Remember that it is Street Report on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. Ebe na woku agba. Kowa ya ko si de. Bring out the isms and the schisms, break it down, cause the social change, or if I bialo. So, guys, we call like a pressure group. Let me break it down in Igbo. Pressure group would those union anya na-enwe n'obodo na-enyelu ndị obodo aka isonye na politics obodo without ịbụ onye otu pati ọbụla. Ọ na-enyelu ndị mmadụ aka yọta ikwu ihe fashọlụ n'ime ọchịchị ọladis ọchịchị onye kwuo uche ya. Awụ m onye Igbo. Now, otu federal government si register group ndị ọfụla ga-adịkwa ka ASUU, Academic Staff Union of Universities, onye bụ ASUU. ASUU nke akịta anyị na-eso, anyị na-afụ their activities. Afọmụl ASUU in 1978. It is a trade union that represents the interests of university lecturers. But like of recent now, the federal government registered Congress of Nigerian University Academics and the National Association of Medical and Dental Associated. These two groups now, the National Association of Medical and Dentals Associated, these two groups, that of Congress of Nigerian University Academics and the National Association of Medical and Dentals Associated. Now, the question today is, do you think that these two groups now will represent the interests of the people, or do you think it is going to be the other way around? Now, amidst all this, a lot of youths are losing interest in education already. As a matter of fact, the National Association of Nigerian Students accused the federal government, and they are saying that the federal government killed education and they will commence the funeral. That's what the National Association of Nigerian Students said of late. Now, another development is that the president of Nigeria accused, he said that the education sector is corrupt. There is corruption in the education sector. Do you agree? If you do not agree, will you tell me that you have never heard of sorting, for good results in school? Will you tell me also that you have not heard of sex for marks? That is basically the order of the day in our schools. On this edition of Street Report, we are going to talk about it, intensively. And then we are going to take a closer look at corruption in the education sector in Nigeria. Can two wrongs make a right? But the argument we used to see most times is that they will tell you, okay, no, you don't have to blame the school for it. You have to blame the government for the corruption, because the corruption, if the government did what they are supposed to do, the corruption will not be there in the first place. These are like some of the stories we get to hear from in day to day, basically, when you talk about things like this. Now, with all I have said so far, I'm trying to come out from all of the angle, that we are going to look at it. Basically, I'm coming from the angle of the federal government saying that this system is corrupt. And I think maybe their move of registering new group is also to balance the system to make sure that that corruption is handled. Basically, that's what I'm thinking. But you get the opportunity to tell me what you think about it too. And that opportunity is on your table now. You got one line, the phone line. I use a phone line today. The phone line you got okay, we're part of find a about tabo 08096661035 or that is 08096661035. Get a feel corruption or in our school lie in our school system like corruption no dey na education system I na affect even this strike and agbaketa go say me according difficult na federal government to get settle with them in order for them to go back to schools otu a ka isi wee fịa ịghọtago ọ ife a ka anyị na-etinye ọnụ taa. Anyway, ka anyị na-eche kọlụ gị ka anyị gbachalụgodo obele aka afịa anyị gbachala ya bụ obele aka afịa anyị na-achiyata ndị ebrekiri gị down otu corruption a si wee na affect anyị really otu that corruption si wee dị na education system anyị so that when you call you have exactly you know exactly what to talk about really. So let's take this one and when we get back we'll continue from where we stopped it.
They look all them yama gems. Carry you and your family they do play. They cause disease and infection them up and down. Oh now we supposed to protect ourselves and we surroundings against them yama gems. Now you be why habits where they make isogemicide come produce individual pine fresh antiseptic where they satisfy all them yama gems one time. Come drag them come up for your skin and house, office, school, hospital, hotel, church, restaurant them, and all them public place, pata. Come carry better make sense, fine fresh sense. Put am for house, make man pikin for breathe wella. Digital fine fresh antiseptics dey very gentle for your skin, but come be conjuring fire for all them germs. Dey very effective and e no dey tear pocket e no cost. You go fit get am buy for pharmacy, supermarket and all other shop dem. If you wan follow body carry am enter market, make you green 0703 924 6169. Digital fine fresh antiseptic for better protection against germs dem.
Yeah, that's right. I'm back. We are back. Remember that you are still listening to Street Report on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. I remember Martin Ifeanyi Shuku AKZ as our number the first, the one that I call Metal. If I na bata webolo gene education yota goes webolo key. Keusi agakita no budai issue the federal government and ASUU. But the federal government is to register another group. Yota gonna represent university lecturers really. Yeni na kaina ne banya tata. Federal government also accused like said that there is a lot of corruption in the education system in Nigeria. Do you agree? And I abanked it just because that we want them to be in a loggerhead with the federal government, or is the steps and they take now, all these steps and they take about e-register and or get help curb that corruption in our schools? Somebody called earlier. Please, when we do call back now, the numbers you will call to become part of what we are doing here this evening are 080 96 66 1035. Meanwhile, let me tell you about the corruption in the education system. Like A recent report by the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project